Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Today, we are going to talk about solution-based packages. Do you want to set your patients and your team up for achieving the best results possible with treatment outcomes and revenue generation? No more undertreating, no more underdosing, and no more one-off services. I could just scream that from the rooftops. We're tired of seeing them. Today, we're going to talk to you about best practices on creating and training your team on recommending plug and play solution based packages that can range anywhere from $8,000 all the way up to $20,000. This makes it not only super easy for your providers, but for your patients as well. As many of you know, clients often come to us with very specific concerns. So, whether that's skin laxity, weight loss, or volume loss, they're generally coming in with a pain point. What they're really looking for is an all in one solution, not just a series of isolated treatments. So, the idea with solution based packages is really to build comprehensive packages focused on those specific concerns. This helps clients see pathways to their goals very clearly. And it also eliminates what we like to call like decision fatigue. So, eliminating too many options, making it extremely simple for them to understand. And also, from a business perspective, these packages make it way easier to communicate the value that patients are getting. It helps drive loyalty. And also, as we all love, it increases revenue. I'm seeing a lot of my $5 million practices implementing these strategies with huge success. So, like I said, it helps eliminate decision fatigue, but I'm also seeing them adding these packages straight on their website, on their web store. So, patients are shopping based on these areas of concerns, and they're showing up the next day with already like $25,000 in revenue, and they didn't have to do anything to earn it. The reason that these packages are so successful is it speaks the client's language of concern. So, again, making it very easy for them to understand. Now, the question you guys may be asking yourself is why solution based packages? Let's start with why really this approach works so well. So, first, by bundling these treatments that work synergistically with each other, we're talking a very well rounded approach. So, from a business perspective, these packages mean clients are more likely to complete the full course of treatments. I don't know about you, but I have seen time and time again a patient committing to a treatment plan, maybe doing half of the treatment plan, and then calling and begging for a refund. That has happened countless times. So, with plug and play packages like this, where it's kind of outlining the value, they're more likely to complete these full service treatments. It also makes it easier for long-term relationships. So they're coming to you more often, and that loyalty is built in the package itself. Now, a very vital piece of creating these packages are the internal collaboration. So I want you to sit with your providers and use their expertise to build these packages. They know their clients best. They know the questions that are constantly asked in these consultations. They know what's realistic for these patients to take advantage of. So they know your clientele best, and they also know these services best. So make it fun. Sit with each other, put these packages together, collaborate a little bit. And that's going to really help the entire team communicate the value and the reasoning behind when these treatments take place, the cadence that they're taking place. And again, just really getting everybody on the same page to build as much value as possible. When your team is in sync and understands the full scope and reason behind the package, scripting becomes non existent and they start speaking from the heart. So that makes a little bit more seamless of an experience for your patients. Now, I want to highlight a very important point. Solution based packages are not meant to take away from personalized treatment plans. I want to make that very clear. Keep your customized treatment plans. There is a time and a place for treatment plans for your patients. So, knowing when to offer solution based packages versus a custom based treatment plan is crucial. So, I'm going to give you a few examples of really how to identify who is right for a solution based package. So, if a client walks in and they have a multitude of kind of concerns. So they're coming in, they want to lose weight, they're concerned about skin laxity, they're concerned about their overall health and wellness. They would be more a candidate for a custom treatment plan. That's because their needs are a little bit more complex and not very niche. However, if a client comes in and presents a very single concern, so they're coming in and they are only concerned about weight loss, that is the only thing they're there to talk to you about, then they would be really more a candidate for a solution-based package. So in that solution-based package, we're going to have them see a nutritionist. We're going to see them once a month for, IV hydration. We're going to see them once a week for B12 injections. Whatever that package looks like that you set up with your team, that would be an example of a client that would really be more fit for a solution-based package. So being able to identify these needs up front ensures that we're always recommending the most appropriate approach. So again, please do not take this as we're taking out customized treatment plans. Like I said, there is a time and a place, and those are very near and dear to my heart. Just understanding those needs up front so that we can give the most appropriate recommendation. That's going to enhance your client experience, and that's going to really maximize revenue. And not only that, but it's really going to help build authority for your patients with your providers. So they're really going to trust your recommendation. Now, let's kind of shift gears to go over some successful execution tactics. So one tactic could be incorporating solution-based packages into your membership program. If you've seen any of my live coaching calls before, you know I love a membership program, a ton of success in them, and I think that they are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for the aesthetics industry. Let's build in these solution-based packages into your membership program. Offer 20% off for solution-based packages. That's going to get your already loyal members kind of asking questions. What's a solution-based package? That's going to open the door for maybe a brand new consultation for a member that's already been coming in for years. This could be a new dynamic offer that they might be interested in. Another tactic could be leveraging financing. We love to leverage Cherry and Care Credit. Like I said, these packages can be anywhere from $8,000 to upwards of $20,000. Make sure that you're incorporating financing verbiage in with these offerings so that we can eliminate sticker shock. And finally, my last tactic here would be make these options visible. I mentioned in the beginning of this coaching call that a lot of my really successful practices are putting these directly on the web store. So right on their website, giving all the information possible without being a little bit too wordy. I'm a big fan of bullet point. The simpler, the better. Like I said, the goal here is to eliminate decision fatigue. So right when you see something that's 3 or 4 paragraphs long, you've already lost them. So incorporating this in with your website, appropriate education with the right amount of verbiage is key there. And make sure that your POS system is aligned with your web store so that way they can make purchases right off the bat. What I've been seeing my successful practices doing, and a lot of questions that are always asked by my clients for solution-based packages are, what if my patient isn't a candidate for this solution-based package? That might happen on a one-off, but what I am seeing is it's way more successful than those one-offs. So you can absolutely customize it for someone who might be on a fit scale that's not appropriate for this package. Absolutely customize that a little bit. But overall, the packages as a whole, that's few and far between that you'll need to make those tweaks. So it's absolutely worth putting it on the web store, giving that patient the opportunity to just buy them outright, and then make those tweaks if necessary, if they may not be a candidate for any type of the services that's built in with the packages. So we've talked about the tactics, we've talked about the benefits of the package. Now I'm going to kind of give you a loose overview of how this can what treatments and how this is so lucrative to your business. So for example, if we're talking skin laxity, we're going to put them on a week-to-week program where they know exactly the services they need to be getting in what amount of time. So whether that starts with toxin, filler, whether that involves RF microneedling, whatever services you have to treat that concern, we're going to lay out and book those appointments for that patient to keep them engaged. Then our follow-up process is going to be extremely detailed as well. I always like to use the verbiage, with these wonderful packages, your skin changes and we want to change with it. So consistently booking them for their service and then having a very fine-tuned follow-up process is absolutely key to making sure we're staying on top of our patients' progress. They're getting the results that they're hoping for or working towards that results that they're hoping for. And then ultimately, it's a great opportunity to capture those before and afters, showing their progress over time. So this is beneficial for both you and the patient. So again, making sure all those appointments are booked out. So that way they're constantly engaged. They're getting appointment reminders. They're aware of when their next series or the next treatment is going to be. And then having a very fine-tuned follow-up process to make sure that everything is wrapped up in a bow. I hope that you guys have learned a lot about solution-based packages. This approach really helps clients see us as partners in their journey. We're building stronger trust, authority, and loyalty, and the ability to cross-sell services is built in. So maybe you have an injectable patient that's been seeing you for a long time and she hasn't really edged over to your spa side. That cross-selling ability is built into these packages. So hopefully the longevity of that patient, even after the package is done, is built within. Like I mentioned, we're maximizing the potential of each client relationship and creating more streams of revenue and kind of differentiating ourselves from the med spa down the street. Thank you guys so much for your time and learning about this with me. I would love to open up the floor now for any questions that you have about solution-based packages. And if you're interested in implementing these in any of your spas, I would love to work with you on that. See if we have any questions.
Yeah, we have a question from Edwin. He says, do you have examples of these packages from successful practices you work with to guide us on how to craft them, including pricing?
I do. So instead of just kind of outlining what would be included in all of these packages, we can absolutely connect on that and we can kind of go over what I'm seeing the most success in. Pricing is going to really vary based on where you're at and where your current pricing is for the services that you offer. So it's going to be a similar structure as to packages that you put together, whether if it's like Morpheus RF microneedling, if you're doing a package and then you're discounting it by 20%, that structure is going to be similar in terms of pricing and discounts. But we can absolutely connect to build solution-based packages that fit with you, your clientele, and the services that you offer. That's a great question.
Right, because it's likely just totally cookie cutter because everyone has different consumables and overhead and devices and service mix. So it would definitely not be a one size fit all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but the fun of putting it together with your providers, it's something that they have to be extremely passionate in. One thing that I always tell my clients is you can have the best devices and the best services out there, but if your providers don't believe in them and if they're not clinically confident in those devices, you'll never sell anything. They have to really believe in its before and afters. They have to believe in what they're suggesting to their patients. So making sure to get everybody collaborating on it is much better than if I were to just sit here and tell you what successful practices are doing. Involve your providers, and that's going to really, really be the difference between having these packages and not selling any and selling a ton right when you let them out the door.
That's what I would really like you to kind of go over and suggest, because I think that there's a lot of good practice managers, owners, practice owners / providers that have created these great plans for their team, and they just sit collecting dust and no one is actually selling them, right? So what's some of those best practices or differentiators for this to really launch and be successful?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like I said, you can have the best packages set up. You can have the best devices in town. But if your team is not trained properly and clinically confident in what you guys have, you're not going to sell anything. So appropriate training is vital for your team, making sure that they can get creative with settings. If it's a laser or they, understand appropriate timings of treatments or the best retail to pay for healing, that they can get like optimal results for this service. So just well-rounded education is extremely important. And I also believe in consistent verbiage as well. So let's say a patient calls and they want, a little bit more information on a specific device. And the front desk is well versed, but she's using totally different verbiage than when that patient comes in and gets that consultation with a provider. They're going to get a little bit confused. I'm definitely of the opinion more information is best, but consistent information is key and is the best option that you could give your patients. That's going to help kind of with consistency in the office, with kind of closing sales, you could say. So the front desk kind of planting that seed and then the provider closing the sale. It's vital that similar verbiage is being used. So consistent verbiage, training, believing in the packages that we're putting together, getting results. Test one out on one of your staff members. Let them do the entire series and take before and afters and watch how much their skin changes or whatever concern it was, and watch the changes in real time. I can't even tell you how much that's going to help navigate sales and navigate conversations, because they see it before their own eyes, and then that person becomes like a patient testimonial. And anytime someone has a question or wants more information about that package, you could bring in that staff member and show them before and afters, and they can speak from the heart of the experience. So all of those things really is going to help actually move these packages, especially because they are so high ticket. Definitely leaning on your financing, building it in your membership with built-in discounts. And that's actually something I wanted to touch on too. A lot of times I see practices kind of fail with solution-based packages because they don't know how to utilize your membership and the package together, or they don't know how to utilize your membership, the package, and the customized treatment plans. They kind of fight against each other. So I think it's really important to work on sales training with your team to understand why each of them are important and what patients to kind of target for each of them. Obviously, everyone should join your membership. That's why I continuously say, build it in your membership. But that's really important that you understand that you need to give your staff adequate training so that these services and packages and memberships aren't fighting against each other. You just have to be able to identify what patient it fits best with.
Awesome. Thanks, MJ. In fact, you just went through this exercise with Laguna and share the great success that they've had.
I did. So I have a client in Denver, Colorado, and they have all beautiful. I mean, it's a very well-oiled machine. They've been in business for a long time. Their database is huge, but their bottleneck is they didn't know appropriately how to use consistent verbiage. They had never closed necessarily like a large package before. And I think that their bottleneck is there was no system in place really with navigating these large tickets and handling these consultations in the spa. So I actually flew down there and I assisted them with like perfect pillars of a consultation and how to identify, the right patient for conversations and how to pitch the right patient for a customized treatment plan, a solution-based treatment plan. And when I left, they were able to close their very first huge package sale. So a lot of times, I mean, you hear this all the time, you don't know what you don't know, and you think you have all the puzzle pieces aligned, but it takes kind of an unbiased ear to see your process to kind of fill in those gaps, and really optimize your process. So I'm a huge believer in consistent verbiage. You have to understand what patients fit for what. I don't want these things competing against each other. I can't stress that enough. They all have a place in the med spa. And really just navigating, understanding your provider's strengths and areas of opportunities and kind of tailoring it towards that is really helpful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This was so fun. You can catch us here the same time every single Wednesday. We always have exciting topics in the industry that we cover. Thank you again for joining, and we'll see you next week.